we're back. I would like to give a shout out to the Cross Daves and Adam. Apparently, they started up a new Twitter account, Mathsquad _AK, and they're going to be posting into Twitter with all the all the Mathsquad games. And I do believe there are no less than 3 other Burning Wheel games going on that are being streamed right now. And there's going to be, not at this exact moment, but are currently being played. And I believe there are...
We should coordinate so we can get 24 hours of Burning Wheel going
we really should.
Burning Wheel.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the other ones, so...
I don't feel like a competitor. I feel like, a co-conspirator.
Yeah.
Like, let's bring the Burning Wheel to as many people as we can.
So let us roll the wheel onto the town. Let it crush as many people as possible.
And there's,
Speaking of burning and wheels.
Oh yes, speaking of burning and nothing to do with wheels.
So, I said during the break...
this is kind of round.
I pointed out during the break that...
I roll my circle skill, because this is a circle.
Yeah, just use circles for everything. So I was saying during the break that we haven't considered the grooves outside in the antechamber that we had assumed were for blood. I think they might actually be to catch the water that comes from the melting ice. And that's what triggers traps.
I think that was just something to do with the door. I don't think it was to do with the chamber.
Yeah, I think that was sealing the door as well.
They somehow sealed it.
But if memory serves, there were channels that came down, and I don't know, they might have been something like that, into like a little pool right before the door.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I will
Yeah,
tell
everything
you
went
guys...
into a little pool at the beginning.
We never... Oh no, those skeletons, we couldn't exactly check how they were wounded. Never mind.
I tell you guys to start having the wood brought in, and I'll have something that I want to talk to you guys about before we start the fire. And then I will try and figure out where the water's going to go when we melt it.
Like, if the ice melted, where would
If
the
the
water
ice
go?
melted, where would the water go?
Easiest way to do that is to just bring in a big-ass tub of water and dump it on the ground.
If my theory is
here.
correct, and a big-ass tub of water sets off the trap, that's big. I will also take a pinch of that powder.
Oh, you're saying that... Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
I'm going to take a pinch of that powder, and I'm going to throw it into the pond outside. And see what happens. See if the water and the dust react in any way.
Is there a pond outside?
We've established there is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
What powder?
The red...
I think
mysterious
he's talking about the stuff
dust
that was in this room up here.
Oh, okay.
that covered everything in the room.
That isn't blood.
And that's the day that Edwayne poisoned the river, and numerous villages died.
No, it's clearly a stagnant pond, guys. It's clearly a stagnant pond caused by rainwater.
Why would we
It is
drink
not
from
going
if
to
it was
destroy
stagnant?
it. Because you're silly. You're a silly man.
Don't call me that!
These are
So
the
you're
things
getting
I
the
do.
firewood, and you are messing with the powder and putting it in the pond to see if anything happens.
I'm looking for where the water's going to go when it melts.
Oh, okay, so you're not...
I don't remember when we established there was a pond around.
Remember the
I think
picture
one of
had
the,
a pond in it?
The in the picture that you had there at the bottom, there was like a water feature.
Oh,
When, also remember that when Ernest was poisoned, we put him in the pond
Oh, that's true.
to cool him down.
Yeah,
So
we
it
put
has
him in.
been established
Oh,
that
yeah.
there is a pond
There was
outside
a-
of the rooms.
no, there was like a creek of some sort.
A creek.
Or
So-
a stream, yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
I poisoned the creek. Are you happy?
I'm sure the fish will be.
Yeah. So are you probably just gonna fill your water skin? That should probably be enough to see where it goes without being super.
I don't fill my water skin. I just look around, but I'm smart.
He's got a level and a.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you intend to discern where liquid goes on the floor in the cave?
Yes. Where will the water go when the ice melts?
Okay. That seems like a perception thing to me.
All right. And it's the attributes, and none of my
Yeah,
skills
I'm-
can
since
work
I'm-
with that.
Yeah, since I'm still there, I guess if you make what you're doing known to me, I
Yes.
will give you a hand
Rico,
with that.
help me, please. Ernest, please help. This is very important to me.
Do I have anything I can help with?
You can look, because it's a
It's a
roll.
stat, so
Oh, perception.
just perception.
Sure, I'll help.
Alright, what's the odds?
But you could help with other stats as well, Ernest.
Oh.
But
Yes.
It's 4, it's not bad.
Kind of not
You
four.
could use your speed, for example, and see if you're faster going one way than the other, and that would mean that the floor is slanted.
right,
Use my
Yeah, you-
balance to see if
yeah.
the floor is angled one way or another.
yeah, you just have to explain how, or yeah.
Yeah, I think we just all help with perception.
Okay. The ob is 3.
Alright.
Okay, cool. So looking at the floor, you don't really discern much of a difference in the level or anything. It doesn't. It almost looks like the floor wasn't intended to hold flowing water at all.
So there's no holes in
Like
the
it just
floor.
looks like it's
No
just-
holes in the
water will
floor.
go. So all the water
Yeah.
will
Just
get
spill out of
dumped
it.
out the entrance of the cave.
No,
It'll just go in a circle. It'll spread out equally.
it would just make like a standing puddle.
You're saying that the
Yeah.
cave is so big that the water is not going to be enough to fill it up by even an inch.
It's that's a 9-foot wide cube, and it's
And
That big.
water takes up less room than ice does, because water expands into ice, so it'll take up less than 10 cubic feet.
it's only
This is
10%
a 10 foot cube.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is a lot of math.
Until we can get to
What was the question?
The water is not enough to fill the cave.
Oh,
Okay? That's fine.
like what do you mean by fill?
By even having an inch thick of water on the floor throughout the entire cave.
It would definitely not fill the cave. Not even close.
I'm trying to get an idea of the scale of the cave here.
Probably not.
Okay, fine.
I have a question about the helping thing. So, I believe if you help, it counts as if you get a test for purposes if you rolled it yourself.
Right.
That's correct.
By perception 4 versus op 3, that's a difficult test.
Right.
Yep.
That's correct.
Cool.
Yep.
I should help more often.
You should?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we've established that the water will not go anywhere. That's a good thing. What
Right.
happens when I throw a pinch of weird stuff into the river?
It just kind of goes into the water, gets a little wet, and just continues downstream.
I can see the stuff. It does not.
Nothing of note.
It does not dissolve into water or anything. Okay. Unless I'm really missing something, we should be good to go.
Okay. I think we got started now.
Yeah, I
Um,
piled
alright,
of
so-
wood.
The question is, who will be making the main role?
I
who
will
will
be
be
starting the fire and feeding the fire.
You a fire building?
No.
Point
Like,
Hold on.
point in that respect.
Yes.
If we build the fire and want to be outside of the thing when we want to light the fire, I suggest lighting one of my arrows on fire.
But don't we have to continue with the fire?
We must
Oh
feed the
yeah,
fire.
but just to get it initially started, just in case the heat is going to do something, because I'm paranoid.
True.
Nico's
So,
going to be like,
to
Fine.
follow up with that, though, you guys also still haven't quite figured out the whole, like, how are you getting everything on top of a 9-foot block of ice?
We are making.
well, I think if we just build it around the block of ice, that should be
Oh,
fine.
okay.
So you just want to like
Okay.
set the brazier like here?
I'm saying don't even use the brazier at this point. Just build a ring of
What about
Wood.
the water? I think we should use the brazier just because of the water.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we can surround this thing with fire, it will quickly heat up and melt much faster. So, I mean, maybe if we use some rocks that we brought in for the steps and just put the fire on the rocks in a circle.
That's possible, yeah. Just sort of build a raised platform, build an altar on which to set a flame.
Yeah, that's appropriately demonic and horrible. Yeah, let's do that.
I can't use my brazier. Oh. I'm thinking like brazier.
I was almost thinking you fill the brazier with water, and then use the hot water to dump on the ice to get this thing out once it's melted down.
Interesting.
That wasn't what I wanted to do. That's okay.
Okay. I will help. I'll just help with manual labor with that. So whatever you guys decide on doing.
Yeah, I'd say a raised fire ring is probably the most efficient way of doing it. That way we're heating it from all sides. The room gets as hot as possible.
Okay. Well, we definitely have the rocks to do that.
I'm a bit worried that the water will put out the fire, but apparently there's not much water, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, there's not.
Well, it's not all going to melt at once, so it'll like trickle out, and if we just leave gaps in the rocks, it'll run out from between the rocks.
Sure.
Exactly. Well, rocks will naturally have gaps in them because they aren't one rock.
Yep.
I'll draw what we're doing for you, Seth. Yep, you let me know. Actually, draw a shape. Red.
So you guys are intending to now build the fire around the ice?
On a series of rocks, so that...
On a series of rocks? Okay.
Yeah, we're building a circle of rocks, and on that, we're building a big fire ring.
Okay. Sort of just ambient heat type stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not using the brazier at all, really.
Single tier. Say to Nico, I hope you can get a refund on this brazier.
You'll have to take that up with Kiro.
Is he here?
He's right over there laughing at us for taking so fucking long to do this.
Alright, I'll give him some trouble about it later.
Okay.
What's your guys' return policy?
Yeah. 90 days or 200 miles.
Yeah. So have you guys... has any of your characters given any thought to how quickly ice melts?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah. That's sort of why I was like, let's build a fire around it, because otherwise it's going to take forever.
I mean,
that's why, okay.
The brazier should melt it within an hour or two. But this way,
I mean, we need to get.
Actually, the brazier might melt it way faster because it's hot metal that's touching the ice.
It will melt it much faster because it's getting the water up to temperature and keeping it at that temperature instead of constantly trying to get ice up to temperature, which is much harder.
No, I mean, if you're saying that the pan of the brazier is going to be resting on the ice, and you have fire inside of it, you're constantly fighting the ice's temperature versus the fire's temperature. And
no,
actually, the further down the brazier goes into the ice, the worse that's going to get because there's more surface area contact with the ice.
That's not how it works. So there's this thing called the energy of fusion, and that is what keeps water from turning into ice. Ice and water can be at the same temperature, but in different forms. So the brazier will be keeping the water at 0 degrees Celsius. All the energy from the water will be going into the ice, continually turning the ice into water.
Is that a thing? If that's the thing, that's actually super cool.
Yes, that's how it works.
Well, I mean, it really depends on how you envision. What I'm thinking you're thinking is putting the brazier like here and melting and like boring down with it,
like a
right?
drill.
No, because
That's what I've been thinking of
the
as
water
well.
will stay in a pool. And the pool
Yeah, the water
will
will leave.
eventually melt and take over the entire ice.
Because it won't. Yeah, actually, you're kind of right. If we do that, the water will still be in that hole that is the ice, and
Exactly.
then eventually it'll just drown the fire.
Eventually, the outer rim of the ice will either collapse or melt itself, and some of the water will escape. But for the most part, it will create a pond of water. And eventually that pond of water will fill up into ice.
Unless the water just stops the fire entirely because everything's too wet.
We lost
No,
it
but
for a second.
the water,
but the thing that
the fire will be into brazier, so the wetness will not stop the fire. That's why I wanted a brazier.
What if the water flows from the brazier? Like
the water is on the bottom of a brazier. The brazier is a boat that contains a fire.
Oh, it is. I didn't actually know that.
This is how you melt the ice.
The thing that I'm wondering about, though, is where is the source of cold, and how powerful is that?
Yes, that's a good point. But if
we should probably touch the ice.
Do you want to take a torch and
I poke the ice to see if it's actually cold.
Oh no!
Again, I'm right here.
I'm just horrified.
I literally just poke it once to see if it's actually cold.
Right there.
Oh yeah, it's cold.
Okay, I walk. I like
ice.
Yeah, I walk back towards you guys.
I don't think has Ernest ever seen that much ice in his life?
Well, I think so. In the continents, there's probably been some winter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the continents.
Well, yeah, we've established that
there's some quite icy.
The climate of the whole area is on the colder side of things. So
yeah. So it's
not foreign. It's just an odd place for it.
He's never seen ice like this, but he's seen.
Well, is there posh society type stuff on the continent?
Yes.
Then you'd probably have ice houses.
That's true.
Yeah.
Slaves wouldn't. I don't.
Well, no, you'd be the one running
ice.
Yeah.
That's true. Slaves may have hauled ice. I've seen that. Yeah, if a brazier would float on top of the ice, then float on top of the water like a boat, then that's a pretty good idea.
That's the whole idea. That's why I wanted the brazier.
That makes sense. I wasn't sure what type of brazier it was.
A big one that we put a fire in.
Would it float even with the fire in it?
Yes.
It's meant to.
You know, like the Viking longships.
The shape of it would keep it from.
Okay. Then I think that's a good idea then.
Okay, so reduce the size of that circle to a brazier size and put it where we're going to put the brazier.
How are we going to get the brazier on top?
You're expecting this to take an hour?
No.
2 or 3 hours.
I'm saying we're measuring this in days or weeks now. Actually getting this thing out.
Yes.
And how long do you think
it
takes to burn it?
They already partially mined this ice block, and we're fine.
Yeah.
Right.
If we're really lucky, the ice will crack from the heat.
Can we just both? Look, we can probably do both at the same time. Mine it from the side while feed the fire. So might as well try both.
Yeah, we can even build a separate fire to keep the digging implements on.
So
I think actually it's a good idea. Use a fire to heat the mining pick to mine the ice.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't work.
Like a forge. Yeah.
Heat
up the mining.
Right. We're thinking way into this. I'm about to just grab an orb, guys. I'm telling you right now.
Let's just start. Let's do something.
It seems like the fire angle is one way to go, but the trade-off for it being safer than your other options is that it takes forever in comparison. Magnitudes longer.
It will definitely take
the orb solution is definitely instantaneous, but will we survive it?
Right. So the issue with the fire thing, right, is that winter is coming, right?
That's a thing.
That's your trade-off there. If you guys want to have that conversation,
Our characters probably know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I would
I
suggest
think honestly
fire.
the orb might be best because it's fast, theoretically safe. If it's like one of the orbs from the back, from the entrance. If we're all standing away from it, theoretically won't break as soon as you touch it. So
Let's
as long as you
let the
don't,
fire
when you throw it,
burn for an hour and see what we learn.
Let me just think.
I would suggest fire on this side,
Okay.
and start getting in that way. And if we want to do something else, we come at it from the other direction.
I'm okay with that. So
That way we
start
can work
by building
two
the
things
fire.
at once.
The fire is a long thing, so we can do that after if we or do it.
Oh yeah,
other
no,
things while-
start the fire now, and we'll work on the other side, and whatever works.
Okay.
Okay.
So we build a fire. I think all of us are building the fire. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of fire are you building? And it's on the side now?
Is it on the
Yeah.
side? You guys don't want that on top?
Yeah, we're just gonna put it on the side.
The top is the
Because if-
side, you know.
Well, I'm figuring that this thing is like.
The thing is, if the orb works and melts the ice real quickly, and the braziers on top of the artifact and then falls top of it, chaos could ensue. We don't know what's up with that, and so we don't want that to be too close to it.
Okay.
Like, what if the brazier somehow falls sideways, hits an orb, everything closes? We would have to roll really badly for that to happen in terms of luck, but
All right.
it's possible.
I'm going to start
So
a fire.
let's just put this on.
I build the fire. And before I start it, I have a speech.
Okay, I will help you build the fire because I think it's fire building, not fire starting, that is the skill.
Okay, so, right. What kind of fire are you guys trying to do? Like, so it's like over here,
Yeah, other side.
in the brazier?
Is
I
it
guess
Or
we're
is it
not
on,
using
like,
the
rocks?
brazier.
You're the one building the fire.
We're not
essentially.
even using the rocks. We're just building like a triangle on the side of the ice.
Okay, just like a classic
Yeah.
fire.
Okay.
See, we're gonna just see how much it does.
Have you seen the kind of fire where you have the stick and then you have the logs laid?
Yeah,
That's
it's
just-
just a
Yeah.
tripod.
Yeah,
That's what
so
we're
you're just
doing.
using like four or five logs.
I mean, to get started, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so like, alright, is it like right up against the ice?
Yes.
Or is it like,
It's right up against the
Okay.
ice.
cool. And how big is it?
Like I said, right now it's just 4 or 5 logs.
Okay,
It's
So it's
probably
pretty much like a campfire.
about 2
It's
to
a
3
campfire.
feet. Yes, you start the fire and you add wood to it.
That's true.
but like,
Yeah.
do you intend to make the
But
fire
Yes,
Bigger
I do
over
intend to
time,
make the
or-
fire bigger.
just maintain it as a campfire?
I will eventually make it to be bonfire sized.
Okay. So
Okay.
that is your intent. Make
Uh,
of course, the way you do that is by starting.
Eventually.
Okay.
okay.
So how can I help?
The same way everybody else helps trying to build a fire. You sit there and kibitz. Oh, you should put that over there. You need more air under there.
Can I help with soldiering? I think soldiers have built fires before.
There's like the drudgery and stuff of I think.
Yeah, that's sort of like the drudgery of stuff. Let me just see.
But the thing is, are you learning this
I
skill?
don't have the
I'm not
skill.
building soldiering.
I don't have
Oh,
fire
Okay,
building.
so we need to help with
Oh,
stats.
okay.
You can help by
'cause
checking
this is
to
snap
see
Right.
check to see if the
This
wood
is-
is green, and cut it into smaller pieces that'll burn easier.
Yeah, it's good because this is technically that would be, so we can't help.
Yeah.
Can we help stats with skills?
Oh, we can help stats with stats. And I'm looking up. Where's our building right?
One of them can help the other, but I can't remember which. Is it stats that can help skills or skills that can help stats?
Stats can
Neither
help
can-
stats.
It's stats for stats and skills for skills.
No, one
I
can
thought
help
one
the
can
other.
help the other.
One can definitely help the other.
I thought that was true.
Really?
Yes.
Just not. It's not both ways,
let
but
me-
one can help the
One
other.
way is true, not the
I'm
other.
right there.
Not
Hang
both
on.
ways.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I think
How can I
skills
help?
can help stats.
Skills may help skills and stats.
Okay.
Stats to help stats.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't use skills for help, because help is a stat roll.
Right.
Okay.
So if we're using a skill roll, we wouldn't be able to use our stats to help you. Because you're using a stat roll, we can use our skills to help you.
Yes.
So yes, I will, if it makes sense, help with soldiering.
Okay.
And I'm just checking something real quick here. Poison. Every time I look up skills, I end up in the trade section without noticing.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. Wait, so you just said skills can't help
Skills
traits?
can help both skills and stats. Stats can help stats.
All right.
So skills can go both, and stats cannot.
Oh, but the help thing was because you're testing an exponent 0 thing or something, and that's why.
Well, it's not technically exponent 0. It's just a stat roll.
It's a stat roll.
Oh.
Basically. You are learning a skill.
If you wanna look at
It's
all the
confusing
skills,
because
go
exponent
there.
0 is right after the help stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think a beginner's luck roll is considered an exponent 0 roll since you're rolling the stat.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had
Here
so
we
many
go.
arguments over this.
It's-
We need to put it in the notes just for. Actually, Sith, if you want to just make me a handout, I'll just make sure we can write down all the help stuff.
Put a page reference
Sure.
while you're at it.
I don't know the page reference, but I can do the
I
rest.
just closed it.
I'll get it 1 second. Help is on. It starts on page 35. Help.
Okay. Oh, that's totally in the free available introduction part.
Yeah.
I will help with the fire building with my perception,
Stats can
and I will.
Oh no, it is a stat.
I
Never
will-
mind.
Yeah, I will be kibitzing and saying, no, it's not how you build a fire. You got to get a little more air in there and blowing it when you're doing the sparky thing.
When you're doing the sparking. Okay, so we're both helping you.
All right.
There's a new handout in the handout section. It's blank, but you should be able to edit it.
I don't see it yet. Is
Yeah,
it?
no.
Can I see it? Do I have permission to see it?
You should. Help quick notes.
Nope, not on mine either. Unless it's in. Nope.
No.
Oh my gosh. So it can be edited by people, but it doesn't
Yeah,
have
but
to
they
be.
Yeah,
can't
you just-
necessarily see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, now.
I'll type in it.
There it goes.
Help. So.
Okay.
Stats can help stats. Skills can help both. And
And because it
And
bears
help.
mentioning, no forks allowed.
counts for tests.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't actually. When learning a skill, no horks. Yeah, horks are no helping. Yes.
Yeah, when helping a beginner's luck.
It counts for tests versus the same ob for the skill stat used to help with. That's all we have.
Alright,
for
so
now.
yeah,
Page 30.
fire building is perception based, so +2 from Ernest and I.
Yep, +2 for both of us.
Cool.
What's the ob?
3.
All right. Fire building's perception.
But you'll get a +1 because
Are you
it
actually
took
careful?
so long to prepare firewood.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, that's the that's the long con on the
Yes,
Thanks.
finally. Only we'll realize that with the orb, you'll just melt the ice super quick. And
There's a
probably like,
yeah. There's a couple ideas I have for failure, but let's see what it goes.
let's see.
Yeah.
What happens.
Remember, if you're helping with this, you don't take the doubled, you take the original
Take
for
the
your
original.
test.
So it's ob 6 for golden scarab.
It's Ops 3 though, right?
top 3 for
based on 3.
But it will be doubled to top 6.
I didn't
I'll be fire building. Okay.
No 6s.
By 1.
Oh well.
6.
Failed just by 1. Just barely. Okay.
Okay, so you get a pretty good fire going.
All right.
And everything seems to be going okay.
All right. I'm gathering everybody around.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. I just want to check something real quick. Because my perception is 5, and at one point when you help people, you give 2d instead of 1.
That's 7 dice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's at 7 dice?
But I'm not sure if it's 5 or 6. I gotta check.
Oh.
It's pretty high. Let me see here.
It's not in the handout.
Oh, this has
Here we go.
It's in the handouts 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the exponent of the ability is 5 or higher, 2 dice are granted. So you get an
Okay,
extra
go.
1.
Now I'm going to put that in the help thing.
Can't do that. Come on, yeah!
There you go.
Sweet, we succeed.
Cool.
Just barely. So you catch one last thing,
Yep.
Nico, that would have screwed us over.
Yeah, good job.
So in this weird split-second idea, Nico realizes that you're probably going to have to use less wood, otherwise there's going to be so much smoke in the cave that you're all going to asphyxiate at some point.
Nice.
So with that little suggestion, all of a sudden all your worries are taken care of.
I thought about that a long time ago, but then just promptly forgot.
Once again, my instinct does not get me into trouble. All right.
Okay. So the fire is burning. Ice is slowly melting.
Yep.
Meanwhile, let's go get ourselves an acid orb.
Well, I gather everybody around. I tell them, all right, now I've got the fire going. We need to talk about something. So I gather the entire...
Is this scary story time?
I gather...
It's scary story time. You might be all about to die, so you should all know this.
Yes. I get the haulers. I get Ivan. I get Nico's friend, whatever his name is.
So Nico's kind of mumbling to himself as he walks over. This is a story about the man with the hook again. I swear to Christ.
I gather you all in the antechamber, so we can see the fire kind of flashing.
Yeah. So,
around the
you
outside
can
of the ice.
feed the fire while you are talking.
Yeah. It's making these kind of little weird dance shadows into the ice, and which is weirdly reflective in the middle of it. So yeah, it's kind of a cool show.
I'm like,
we don't notice any runes or anything that are in these shadows now that we're projecting light through the ice or anything, right?
No.
Sorry, read way too many fantasy books to not look.
Clearly, this is a versus test against my oratory and the fire building skill. See which one gets more attention. So, anyway,
I'm not helping with the oratory, so.
Do you order me to do anything while you're telling the story?
No.
Okay.
I say, about a year ago, I took a trip up to a small island in the northeast. I had found a little folktale that finally opened a picture. And I took an expedition up there, and we had just so many troubles. We had people die, we had terrible storms, we had... everybody started fighting amongst each other. And by the time I finally made it to the ruins, everyone had left me, even my closest confidants. And
was I there, or was
there.
I not?
You were with me. So the way I see it is, you were with me in camp, and then a giant storm happened and split up the camp. And at that time, I was separated from you.
Okay, cool. continue.
But I made it there. I made it to the hub of the wheel. I mean, the seat of the wheel. You guys may be aware that history separates our ancient kingdoms into age after age after age. It is the wheel of ages that turns when the age is time to come. When the age's time has come, a new age begins. So I had finally, after all these years of research, all the money spent, all the education, I found it. I found where the wheel was. And the wheel has been broken. I went into the seat of the wheel, and it had clearly never been finished. The tower was open to the sky, and all the pieces in it, they were mostly whole. But the wheel itself, the wheel is not in a place that you and I can be. The wheel is out there, like maybe in the stars, maybe with the gods, I don't know. But I found laying there a spoke of the wheel that was charred, that had been split like a chicken leg. And I also found the thing, I don't know if it's the thing that broke the wheel or something there to make sure that nobody ever said what they see. But it was there, it saw me see the wheel, and then it chased me. And I thought I would never escape. But I did. A year later, here I am. Now, this thing that we're about to recover, the legends about it say it has the power to make the wheel turn. And if the wheel turns like it is now, in its shattered state, all of the cycle of ages that have come will end. There will be no new age after this one. There will only be chaos and death and terror and destruction. If somebody with the wrong intent takes this artifact and makes the wheel turn, we will all die. But I have to hope that there is a way to use this artifact, that if it can make the wheel turn, it can stop the wheel from turning as well. So, this is what we're here for. We need to get this artifact somewhere safe, somewhere where it can only be used by people who are good and people who know what the real consequences of its use will be. And that's my speech.
Okay.
Can I have an apocalypse-wise roll to see if any of that was true?
Well, who's all there? Like, is
everyone in the expedition, from the lowest laborer to Ernest and Nico and the guy from the border, and Ivan's there. Everyone I could gather.
Yeah,
if I saw the little,
so Nico's reaction.
If I saw the little guy, the fighter, and he was like had a sword and was like going to come in, like, come here, I got a story to tell you. Everybody I could find is there.
Okay. Hold on, real quick.
So when you say you took a little trip, was there fungus involved?
No, this is I'm not the kind of person to lie about this.
Part of it, I can speak to the truth of everything. And when I found when we were reunited, he was running from something. If I recall correctly, Lord Dolvia wanted to leave this place as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And
something was hunting
forgive me
us.
for speaking out loud, but he didn't then sleep for a week.
So you wanted to have a roll to see if what you knew was actually true?
So the way you can use wises is you can make things true by making a roll.
True.
I would like to make as much of that true as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
In my mind, I'm trying to figure out if that's a wise or if it's folklore.
I mean, making things true is a wise. Folklore is never used for that.
Okay.
Yeah, folklore is more of a research.
If I asked you a question...
Folklore's asking questions, and wises can be for telling
So let me
answers.
explain it this way.
Okay.
The knowledge skills are for things you actually know.
Yeah.
The research skill is for things you don't know but want to look up. Wises are either used for information about a specific topic, or they're used for making things you said true.
Okay.
So interesting.
There's probably, in my rulings, there would be overlap between those categories.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. I think it might just be a big.
I don't have the Apocalypse Wise skill, but I'm hoping to start learning it.
Oh,
But this is more of like turning of the ages or
in astrology, you could. Well, astrology's always.
yeah.
Turning of
I
the
mean-
ages wise, really? That's pretty specific,
What?
but okay.
Well, it is specific, but like you were talking about more than like an apocalypse, right? You were talking about like
The cycle of the entire.
cycles of things, right? And so,
Man, apocalypse seems like too small of a scale.
yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because apocalypse is end of the world. What you described is end of the universe.
Yeah.
Basically,
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, like
maybe just like wheel-wise.
Burning wheels wise?
no.
The burnt wheel-wise.
Broken
No.
wheel wise?
Right. Well, this is why I was like trying to like do something with like folklore or something because it was like about tales of the origin of everything and
I
stuff
mean,
like that.
What
But-
type of wises do you have going?
I have only sorcery wise.
Okay, so maybe we'll definitely want a new one then, but we'll just want to make sure it's the right one.
Right.
Like legends-wise,
Legends wise.
I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
because it's something that's bigger than regular tales. So yeah, I think legends.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm totally cool with that.
Alright. Let's
Um,
give that a shot.
I don't think any of us are helping you because you were alone in that.
Will
you were
your
alone.
collaboration with my story help me?
I have no skills to help you if you are looking for that.
No.
So unless I think it's worth the narrative die, and I don't think it is.
Okay. Probably not. Alright. Let's see if anything I said becomes true. Come on.
I think it's
That's actually one success because I forgot to make it gray shaded.
Shaded? Oh, so
Yeah,
six.
But what was the actual ob of that, though?
right.
I mean, it's a.
It was, I
Yeah.
assume it was graduated.
Yeah.
So for every 2 successes. 'cause
Oh wait,
it's,
no.
Wait. When did I say it was graduated?
we never
You're right.
established
It's
that,
not
actually.
graduated. My bad.
Wait.
We
What?
never established that.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we did. I was like, wait.
I said I
Oh.
assumed it was graduated.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
sorry.
agree with you. It's not
Yes.
graduated.
So it's actually 2 successes, which is aka an off 1
Yes.
success.
Okay.
I just want any
So,
of it to
okay.
be true. And you don't even have to tell me what was true and what was wrong.
It was a wheel.
Was any of it true? And ops one.
Mm,
Yes, you did go to that place.
I think that all of it is true,
Uh,
and I will not tell you anything different.
Right.
I'm trying to find like a page for rules about wises. And...
They are a skill. They are a skill. They're under W wises.
Well, no, like I think he's talking about like how to deal with it with like failure and stuff like that.
Yeah, how to. Yeah.
Because like this is weird because like your intent is like what I just said I want to be true, and like so like the interesting failure there is.
Yeah, we've
weird.
never done this kind of wises use before, so that's
right. Something chased you, and you actually were scared about it.
Okay.
That much is true.
Great.
And then let's figure out the oratory part of it.
All right.
So this would be versus each individual person's will?
Is the most
No,
common will
the most common. The most common
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Okay.
-4.
I believe -5. Yes,
So
-5.
Okay. The weird way it's phrased is the most common, not like the average, which in other places it
Right.
explicitly states take the average. So the most common here is 4,
Okay.
but you linked in from a failed test,
Was it a
so the odd is 5. Isn't that how wises work?
No.
I don't know. I think they might.
I
have been
wasn't
just special
trying
tests.
to link it. I was trying to make something true.
Okay.
Like we could have
Yeah.
done that
Yeah, as
after.
far as...
I could even
Tell
argue
a
like,
good story.
that the
doesn't necessarily
oratory
have to be a
roll
story.
Yeah.
links to the wise roll. Like,
Yeah, his Legends Wise was determining what was true. This role is determining how much we believe
It's
is
true.
or
story.
even how
Okay.
much you enjoyed the story and how much you'll stick in
They're
your mind.
complete, while they happened at the same time, they're completely separate.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I would do it, yeah.
Okay. Are you sure? So yeah, just opt for them.
Okay. Can I fork things in? So I got symbology, sorcery wise, obscure scavenging wise, rhetoric, obscure and ancient history, ancient languages, I guess.
Ancient history makes sense.
Yeah, I think obscure history would work.
I think so.
'Cause that seems
That's what you're
pretty
telling
obscure.
I definitely used research, but I don't think the actual skill makes sense in this circumstance because I'm not actively researching anything.
No, there's your link test.
That
I
would be
think.
a link test.
Research takes weeks or months to do, so I don't think
Yeah.
we have to
Yeah.
do that. If you want to give me a
Yeah, but
research
you could
test
say
to
that-
see how good my research was a year ago,
So, okay, so what kind of forks are you looking at?
obscure and ancient history, ancient languages. Maybe I said some of the ancient languages.
No.
Nope. Rhetoric. Let's see, making it logical
That's-
sounding if I can. Obscure scavenging. Sorcery wise and symbology.
Okay.
Looking up some stuff.
Yep.
I don't think rhetoric works because you're not trying to win an argument with it.
What case
Yeah.
would I ever win an argument if my intent is not to persuade somebody at a certain point the argument is true?
Probably never use rhetoric.
So you would never, ever, ever apply rhetoric in that sense.
Yeah.
That does not make any sense to me. If we assume
Yeah, but
rhetoric is the knowledge of
Nope,
persuasive
rhetoric,
arguments.
you're totally okay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You can fork rhetoric, and you can fork the history stuff,
Okay.
but not the other stuff.
Not obscure scavenging, not sorcery-wise, and not symbology.
Nope.
Okay. It's still 3 dice. That's pretty good. Okay. And Ernest helped me at all by collaborating with my story?
I don't have any skills to help with. Wish I did, but
Can you be intimidating about it?
do you want? I didn't feel it was called for that.
It would make it more memorable.
It's like, you were there, weren't you, Ernest? That's right, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was, and I was a badass. I killed all those traitors.
Well, do you want everyone else to believe Edwin? And so,
I don't think I will be intimidated because that will severely take attention away from his story.
Ah, that's a good argument.
all right.
Okay. 3 dice. We
Like,
want
I
the
just don't
odds
think
to
it makes
be
sense.
Yeah, I was 4.
4. Come on, dice. Give me the 6s.
Oh.
I got a 6.
You have a
6.
6.
I'm going to spend a fate. Come on.
Don't do 6 chance.
Roll 2 6s.
No.
Nope.
Curse
Okay.
you, dice.
So,
Wait,
how
that's not
does
right.
Nico?
Wait. Oratory is a grayscale. Why isn't it not rolling it as a grayscale? I didn't check the stupid checkbook. No. That's totally a success.
It's a success, actually. In that case, that's totally a success. And you need to spend Artha.
I didn't even need the Artha. Sorry, I need to change all these
Yeah.
to be the correct shade.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, okay, so that does work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oratory.
Yep.
Oh wait,
It will.
Oratory as well. Never mind, it's not gray.
Yes.
It's not gray.
That's why.
Yeah, I think basically
Oh.
all persuade based.
My bad.
stuff-
It was a failure
Social.
all along.
It was fair.
Yeah. All social stuff is will.
So what was your question, Seth?
So from this, I was gonna inquire as to how Nico and Ernest received this oratory, this, everything's going to hell in a handbasket unless we get this somewhere specific type speech. Like what are their reactions to this?
Similar to how he reacted before. Nico's pretty sure that this was either a very vivid dream, or he was drinking some absinthe and.
Yeah, I think Ernest also reacts how he did before, but I think that possibly him saying that after this, Lord Edwin didn't sleep for a week may have actually people may have misinterpreted, thinking that he was actually super high on drugs. And that's why he didn't sleep for a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kiro looks over at Nico and is like, I know the trip you took, and he's just like,
Oh yeah, I've seen this one.
I know this. So,
Well,
yeah,
how do they
I-
get-
My first 100 gold selling that stuff.
yeah.
How are you guys
I'm sorry.
reacting to it? How would Edwin see you react? Just laughing at him?
I think Nico would be polite
I think
about
for
it.
most of them, it's sort of polite, awkward amusement.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
yeah, like everyone else except like Kirill is just sort of like it's kind of like like when you're in a wedding reception and all of a sudden like one of the guys giving a speech just did like this super personal joke that is completely out of context.
Right.
Like you're not gonna say anything and just move on. Like
Yeah.
that's everyone else's feeling right now.
Let's just move on and let's get this article.
Well, I pick out a guy at random and I ask him, You heard me, right? You know what's going to happen. Tell me what's going to happen if this artifact is misused.
I guess one of the laborers kind of looked as like, someone gets it, bad things. Bad things.
What bad thing? Come on, tell me.
He just is like, wheels break?
Yes, the
wheels around the
break.
world stop working.
There will be no more
My
kingdoms.
car did no go.
There will be no peace.
Back to
People will die. Understand? Artifact misused. People die.
At this point, are you kind of like bug-eyed and sweating a little bit? Because that's what I'm picturing. Like a little bit of a crazed look in your eye as you grab his lapels, and you're like, "Do you understand what I'm talking about?"
If it gets to that point, if he can't actually repeat what I'm saying, yes.
I think at this point, like, people are starting to, like, look at Ernest and Ernest and be like, help?
I put my hand on his shoulder gently.
Did you know this was a cult? I didn't think this was a cult.
I just thought it was just like a meeting for.
They wanted us to mine some stuff. I didn't know we were going to have to sit here drinking the Kool-Aid.
I put my hand on
Where did I
Lord
get
Edwin's.
this foot?
I put my hand on Lord Edwin's shoulder gently and say, "Right now we can't do anything unless we get the artifact." Right, sir?
It's important people know, like, I could die. You at least, you can tell me, right, Ernest?
If the wheel is turned, like, I listened, so, Ernest says, if the wheel is turned when it's broken, there goes the end of all ages.
Okay. If I die, you need to make sure that people know this. You need to get Nico to understand. You need to contact the Mages Guild. Make sure that they hear what I just said. You understand?
Sir? You are not going to die down here. And yes.
Okay. That's all that's important.
Ernest? Can you open up and give me a test on soothing platitudes?
Okay. Which is Will, I will assume?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Will.
Okay.
Or do you default to your instinct and angrily tell him, "Sir, you're not going to die. I will not
very
let
specifically said
Are you going to intimidate me into
against...
the dying?
Yeah.
I very specifically said I
did
that against Lord Edwin. Basically everyone else.
Right, I was like giving him that option earlier, and he was like, "Let's not do that option." And I was like, "Okay." What is Lord Edwin's will?
2.
Isn't it 2? 2? Okay, so it's basically difficult. Modifiers none. Artha, I don't have any Persona Artha. The obstacle is 2. But it's 4 because hold on. Add soothing platitudes. Let's roll it from the actual thing. Platitudes, based off of will. Roll it. Base obstacles 2, so it's doubled.
Just add the 2, though, if you're doing it and being learned.
Yep. Okay, I failed.
Okay.
That is
a
test for will.
Lord Edwin, you don't quite believe.
Okay, there's going to be a test later. This is going to happen. Right now, we need that artifact.
Wait, I already had soothing platitudes. Awesome!
Oh, and
so I get a second test in it. I don't know when I use that. Probably on Lord Edwin.
What was...
No, I don't have the skill. I already had it opened and being learned.
Oh, okay.
And that was my second test for it. So I didn't actually know the skill. I was just...
want to make sure...
Before you delete it from your tree, it might delete your progress and your being learned, so just, like, take a note of what you got.
You might have to take a screenshot.
Check.
Okay.
I don't think I have any... Soothing Plateau is the only one with two tests. Everything else is just one test.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm not very calming. Probably because I'm like you.
Yeah.
I starts by saying you won't die here.
There's going to be a test later.
And I just think,
I'm going to make sure you guys understand this.
Ernest can't read. Is it a written test?
I can't read.
It will be an oral test. You guys haven't heard the rest of this, so you better pay attention next time. Right now.
Yes, sir. Let's
get the artifacts.
Let's get the artifacts.
Yeah, so
I
Nico,
probably share
after
a
this,
look with Nico.
yeah, after Nico kind of just rolls his eyes up after the story and walks off to see what the situation is with the fire and the ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Well, we
I
were
guess
standing next to the fire the whole time.
Right.
I thought we
So
went to the other.
No, I think.
well, it sounded like the idea was to start the fire on this side, and then on the other side, try options
Yeah.